But speaking of All Elite Wrestling, some good news may be on the way for their television deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. In an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, Warner Bros. Discovery U.S. Network's group chair and chief content officer Kathleen Finch spoke about how happy she was with All Elite Wrestling's numbers and the future of AEW. In light of that, Warner Brothers started running multiple advertisements during the MLB playoffs, and reports have started to circulate that Warner Bros. Not only wants to do business with AEW long term, but wants to present the wrestling company as a legitimate sport. How do you feel about this news, and what do you think it says about the future of All Elite Wrestling?
I do think it's good news, but isn't that what AEW set out to do in the very beginning, and
Mm-hmm.
then they became sports entertainment, and now I guess they're jumping back into that? I could have swore Cody Rhodes said something when
Yeah,
AEW first came out that I can't remember word from word, but it was the
sports
same. Like,
centric.
I guess yes, there we
That was
go.
the
Sports
word.
centric was exactly what. Yeah. But I can't be upset with this decision because as someone that really loves wrestling and I take wrestling seriously, I actually do consider it a sport, and I would love if it was viewed, more universally as being a legitimate sport instead of just being something that is a play or a script. So I love that. I love again that wrestling is being more legitimized because um, these people are athletes. They are also actors. They are stuntman. It's definitely a complicated sport, if you will. So I love that for them, and I love that for AEW. But it makes me question, like, are they going to switch up? I guess their ratio between how much wrestling do we see versus promos, because I felt as though when I first watched AEW, it was more about just ring work than there was about seeing segments and seeing promos and seeing characters. Like you were meant to fall in love with what you saw in the ring before you got to understand what the character was or what is exactly the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think that's going to change with that?
Personally, I don't think it's gonna change. Ooh, I think I hear my echo. You got to mute your mic. Um, but I don't think that's going to change as far as the how do I describe this? As far as how they present the product, I don't think that that's going to change one bit. Um, I think that that's this is kind of what they set out to do, and I think that what's going to change more so than anything is how um TNT, TBS, and Warner Networks promote the product, because there's a difference between how a product is presented and how a product is promoted. And so I think that when they say things like we're going to present this more as a sport, you have to look at their sports properties, right? They have a deal with MLB, they have a deal with the NBA, and they have like the Inside the NBA, which is a very, very known, illustrious, insightful basketball program. So when I hear, you know, rhetoric about, Warner Network saying essentially we're going to treat this like a sports property, I don't think it's a matter of AEW having to change anything. I think it's how Warner changes their approach to it, because it's very, very like it's very, very easy as a network to promote a product the way that a competitor promotes. Oh wow, the way that a competitor promotes their product. Like it's very, very easy to kind of look at what USA is doing with Raw and just being like, oh, we're going to promote it like the way the USA promotes Raw. But I think that now, understanding the product, they can be like, let's kind of attach more programming to this. We may see a backstage show with AEW the way that, WWE was trying to do with, Fox and stuff like that. So I think that this doesn't change the way that AEW presents its product. I think that it changes the way that Warner Brothers is going to promote the product. I also think this is significant because since this merger, prior to the merger and during the merger, there was a lot of uncertainty surrounding AEW because there were a lot of changes in leadership, and the leader that was on board for bringing them into the fold in the first place, I don't think is occupying that position of leadership anymore. So the fact that leadership has changed and they're still very, very big on AEW is a very, very good sign. And I think that this almost kind of guarantees the fact that they're going to get another TV deal, and probably a bigger one at that, which is fantastic. I was gonna say, did you have anything else to say? Did you have anything else you wanted to say about this?
Nope, not this time.
Not as this time? All right, then we can move on.